Hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Knit Nat Chit Chat Show. I am coming to you today from what is now a very sunny Essex on Wednesday the 4th of June 2025, and we will have a go at looking at some 6 months worth of crafting. Firstly, I apologise that it has been quite a while since I podcast. Life has been lifing, we shall just say. I'll cover a little bit at the end. But yeah, it's been a very busy 6 months. There's not as much, well, there is quite a lot of crafting to share with you. It wasn't until I started pulling it all out that I was like, oh, actually, it feels quite a lot. But we'll just say that it's not actually felt like I've managed to get a lot of crafting done in the last sort of 6 months because of life, which I will, like I said, I'll talk about. But I have managed to do some bits and get some self-care in for myself. And so we shall work through, I'll work through finished objects, and then we'll go to like whips, and then I have a pile of acquisitions. So please bear in mind it's 6 months worth. It's not like, it's not a monthly thing. And then yeah, going forwards, I'd like to try and keep maybe like once every month, once every 2 months, a little podcast out, just so that it becomes like more manageable rather than doing it like bigger chunks of time. But we shall see. Like I said, I have been trying to do it basically every month since January, but life has been a bit mad. I have also got a nice new shiny mic, which I hope will make the sound a little bit better. Yeah, so thank you very much to my lovely husband for buying this for me for my birthday, which was a little while ago now. And I, of course, got some yarn for my birthday. It's always a good birthday when you get some yarn. So yeah, I'm hoping the sound quality will be a little bit better. And we shall see how it goes. As always, I am very open to suggestions and improvements, so just let me know and we'll go from there. And then before I start proper, I think I'm going to cover my tea. I actually have something, I was about to say slightly more exciting than my decaf coffee that I had on the last one. I wouldn't necessarily say it's more exciting. It's called an after party infusion, except I have not been to any parties of late. Well, I mean, we did do board games at the weekend. That could have been counted as a party. I drank 2 ciders on one day, and we actually managed to play board games. It was amazing. And, there were sweets, there was food. It was a really lovely weekend with friends. But today there has been no partying, there has just been work. And this is my mummy mug. I am really sorry about the lighting, by the way, but the window is right here. I've moved things around since the last podcast. And like the sun is coming like directly in. I have got the room light on, but it's not really doing anything. We are going with it. We are going with the flow. It is much better to have done a podcast rather than be like, I really want to podcast and it not happen. So we are going with it in its imperfect form, very rough and ready. Buckle up, guys. It's going to be really sedate. Anyway, the tea that I am drinking, like I said, is like Sainsbury's like after party infusion, which I think my husband got in like a gift box from his work, but he doesn't do like hot beverages other than like a black coffee. So I got this, and it's actually really nice. Like got lemony zing and things to it. It's really nice. So I apologise for the slurping. I'm not editing them out. I know it really drives some people mad, but I don't have enough time to do these things. So like I said, rough and ready. I do apologise. I also have like a sore throat, so it's messy and medicinal. Yeah, so we'll start with finished objects. Finished objects, I can't talk properly. It's because I've been talking all day at work and now I can't talk for you guys. I am sorry. So, my first finished object is the dino raw sweater, the big adult one. I think when you last saw it, I was doing the tubular cast off on the bottom, which is all done. Look at that. You can see some ends poking out there. There's a very good reason for that they've not been sewn in. and I popped some sleeves on. So it's all done. The problem is it just doesn't quite fit my husband well. Basically, because the pattern's written for, I think, predominantly like a female or those with breasts. I was about to say fan base, that's not what I mean, like user group, I suppose. There's basically just too much fabric in the front for my husband. So I mean, one of the reasons it's not being done is that I was like, oh, like I'll do the podcast and then I'll do it. And I was also like, oh, I really don't want to. Like, do you know how much of a pain in the backside it is to sort this out? And I was just a bit upset that like it didn't work. I don't think I finished it for Christmas, but I think it was finished in January. So I did, you know, I was making good progress, but you know, life. So yeah, so now my aim is to get it completed for like the next sort of like cold season coming up. But what I'm thinking of doing to it is I am thinking of ripping it back to the sleeve separation and just actually no, I'm not thinking of ripping it back. I am thinking of cutting a row and pulling it out, basically like an afterthought heel. I'm going to pick up the stitches and then like cut a row out and take it right back to the sleeve separation for both, and then just zhuzh the stitches. I was about to be like, I was going to put the sleeves back in. Yes, no, I was going to put the sleeves back in, because what I was going to do is I was then going to pick up more stitches and decrease, and then kitchen stitch them together, and then if the sleeves were then enormous, rip it back to a point, and then redo the sleeves. Basically to just save a bit of knitting, because like I said, it was quite a slog getting that body on and those sleeves. So that's my thoughts on it. Not sure. If you've got a better suggestion that's not ripping it right back and redoing it, I would love to know. So yeah, that is the dino sweater. Other than that, I think it's beautiful. I really like how this Sirdar like DK has worked up. I think the red is called Port. I really love it. It's just a real shame. It looks lovely on my husband. It's just it just looks like he should have boobs there and he doesn't, so it's quite amusing. So yes, that's why I haven't sewn any of the ends in, because I'm not entirely sure like how much it's gonna get. If that fails, my best friend said that they'd have it, but given that I wanted us to all be like a family of like I wanted it to be, you know, like mummy, daddy, baby, I was like, yeah, but it still slightly ruins that's what I wanted, and I'd have to do him a whole new sweater again. So we shall see. We'll see what will happen with this. It needs a bit of thinking. I'm finally in the place where I might be able to do that thinking. So it's a finished object in the sense that I've made a sweater. It functions as a sweater. It doesn't really fit. Yeah. I thought I had adapted it well enough for a male body, but obviously I hadn't. So yeah, like I said, we'll have a bit of a rethink. Oh yeah, and that was it. If I cut off the body, I was then just going to knit from the body rather than unravel it and not bother unraveling. But yeah, we shall see. And then I think I counted this as an FO in the FO pile, but it isn't really. It's more of a whip. And I can also realise that my FOs are slightly too far away. But oh well. Yeah, that should be in the whip pile. Right, let's reach. I do apologise for the inelegant reaching, but we are going with it. So then my next two finished objects are, I have finished this little cardigan for my little boy. It has buttons and the ends are sewn in. Because I think in January this had, it had one sleeve, so it just needed one sleeve doing. And then I basically got stalled on the buttons, and I was quite tempted to not give it buttons in the end, so that it would just be finished. And then I bought buttons from my local shop Scunch, and then I misplaced them, and then I found them, and then essentially it took me a very long time to get cardigan, buttons, needle and scissors and free time all available in one place, but we got there. So yeah, so this was just a v-neck cardigan from Ravelry, and then I think the yarn, it was like a Starcraft Life with these like rainbow neps. Yeah, and I absolutely love it so much so that I'm like, do I need a jumper in that yarn? Because like, I'm just gonna really zoom in, but like, look at all those beautiful neps. And yeah, the neps are precisely why I bought it, because I wanted him to have a black cardigan, but I loved the multicoloured neps in it, so that it would kind of go and fit with lots of different outfits he's got in his wardrobe. And I was really stressing out that he was going to outgrow this before I'd finished it, but because he's quite tall and skinny, basically I've made the arms really long and the body quite long. I think it's going to fit him for a while, and it's perfect because I think he'll kind of just grow into it for the coming autumn winter, and then I think at the end of this winter he'll probably start to grow out a bit, so it's actually kind of ready at like the perfect time for him. And I've been washed, blocked, and the ends are sewn in, so there we go. And I've got many more plans for cardigans in my life. And then where did they go? They're right here in my lap. These are not like, I was going to put these on sock blockers and I forgot, but I have finished my DK socks, I think using the colourway Punk from like the West Yorkshire Spinners colourway that they did, and then I just based the pattern off the free Winwick Mum pattern that came with them. I just didn't want the sound waves thing on it, so I just didn't do it, and then just made it ribbed. But no, they fit really well. I really love them. They're like a really cozy like slipper socks, so they are perfect for when I'm like working at home and my feet get cold. So I'm very much like, I need like more DK pairs of socks. So that is those socks. Hold them up a little bit. And yeah, they're a bit worn and stuff now because I've been living in them basically since I like posted the finished object poster on Instagram. But yeah, so just really love them. I think I need more DK socks because they're just so delightfully squishy and they go really well with my walking boots. So yeah. So that kind of leads me nicely on to whips. And what I'm using my leftovers for is I thought I'd make myself some mittens to wear, like when I'm working at home and typing, because my hands always get cold and I always feel like I wear like a million layers and I still have really cold hands. So I've been wanting to make myself a pair of like fingerless mitts for a really long time, and I finally got there. And yeah, so I've done one. Haven't sewn in my ends or anything yet, just hanging out with my stitch markers and stuff. Oh, and I haven't done the thumb, so I tell a lie, they're not finished. I think I just thought I would do the thumbs at the same time, that's why they're like that. Plus I also thought they're still kind of functional like this, so I'm going with it. And then yeah, I've started my second one, and I'll zoom in, you can see the stitch marker, I hope. Don't know if you can read that. It says Boner Bridge. These are from Yarnistry. I signed up for like the funny name places Stitchmarker club they did a few years ago. I had to cancel it because not many people signed up, which I was really sad about. Because I grew up near a place called Finger and Hoe, and I really wanted them to do a stitch marker with that. And it would have been funny, but now I guess I might just have to make my own. But point aside, it's my funny stitch marker, and hopefully my child won't know why that's slightly rude and funny for quite a while, but we'll get there. And then on this one, I've got my little beaded panda, which was done by my best friend, Aurora. Yeah, as like a birthday present. I got a load for one of my birthdays one year, and I really like them. So there's my little panda. And then living in, of course, my panda bag I bought this from For the Love of Yarn last August when I went to one of their dye workshops, which was amazing, by the way. And I had to get myself a little memento of my trip up to Scotland, to the motherland. Yeah, I love pandas, so of course I had to get this. And I also really like it because you can knit socks and things on the go. Like, it's very easy to just do that and throw a project in. So it's a really versatile bag. I can't remember like what they were called, but they will have them on their website if they still have them in stock. So yeah, we're just gonna abandon things on the floor and tidy up at some point in my life. Next in the giant pile of whips is this. So this is from the same company that my cardigan's from, which I haven't talked about. This is, I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember. It's quite obvious what it is. It's like a big long cardigan by a company called Lad. They're known as Lad, which is Lauren Aston Designs. Basically, she started off by making things with like massive yarn and loads of garments because they were really good for beginners. And basically they knit up really quick, and I just really love the style, and I absolutely love wearing it. It's like wearing a giant blanket. It's quite versatile like when you're in and out the house, but I find it's not very versatile like if you're leaving the house, because it's quite big and it's quite cumbersome. It's not great, but I love it, and sometimes I just go with it. But like if it's one of those days where you're not sure you want to have a big jumper on, it's not really the cardigan for that, because then if you get too hot, it's such a big weight, bulky to carry around. But I do absolutely love it. But anyway, this is from them, and I bought this yarn I think about 4 years ago. It's their big mohair, and I bought it in jade. Colours are not quite coming up very well. It's all blown out because of the light. But it's like a does that make it any better? In the shade, it's a bit of a truer colour. So yeah, I started this, and basically I was like, I just need a quick, easy project that hopefully, give me the good brain fields. But essentially, my body has changed an awful lot, and this will be a theme for some more of my garments that I'm making, is that I am realising that I need to size down at least 1 or 2 sizes from what my actual bust measurement is. Now I mentioned like I've got a young child. They are an age. Can I work it out? They're coming up to 2. So it's been quite a while since I've been pregnant, but I've been breastfeeding and I still am. And essentially my body has gone through lots of changes. It went through I was always like, I still look really pregnant, and I'm like 10 months on from having the baby. I didn't even get to full term and I still look kind of pregnant, and it was really bothering me. And then as my child started to like breastfeed less, once they were like coming up to the year mark, my cycle started up again, and then I basically lost a stone. I was trying to lose a stone for health reasons, but I've always had a lot of difficulty like actually losing weight, and actually for the past few years I've really struggled to lose weight when I've wanted to for various reasons. So the fact that this kind of just fell off me was like, oh, that's quite nice. But what this has meant is that I've resettled. I now weigh about a stone less than I did before I got pregnant. And my shape hasn't returned to how it was. Like, my ribs still feel a bit bigger, but my hips feel a bit slimmer, and I've lost some muscle because I haven't been able to exercise very much over the past couple of years for like various reasons, or not to the extent that I used to exercise. So what I'm trying to say is like my body has completely changed, and I'm really like trying to relearn what looks good on me, what is practical for me, and what the hell is my size, basically. So I made the lard, and basically I just, when I stand up, I'm not standing up right now, it just looks like I've borrowed my parents' clothes. And because I am 5'2", that happens to me quite easily. And I was aware that this might happen, but it looks too oversized. So I need to rip it back and go down a size. the other thing was I was going to run out of yarn to do the sleeves to where I wanted them. So all of this just sort of painted a picture of like, I just need to redo it. I don't want to, but there we go. But I'm really gutted at, because I absolutely love it, and I wanted, again, I just wanted to have it in my wardrobe to wear. So that might be a bit of a mission for me over the next few months as I try and get this like frogged back, refind all my needles and then give it another go. Because yeah, like I said, I really like it. It's just not quite right for me. I did also change the pattern a bit because it's meant to be a pieced together garment, but I was like, I am terrible at sewing up. I don't like sewing up. And so I decided to just basically not bother. And so I just like worked out all the stitch markers. Oh, I found another one of the Rude Place stitch markers. I'm not entirely sure why that's where it is, but this one, this one says bell end. It makes me chuckle. So yeah, I just revamped the pattern. I did a 3 needle bind off at the top because again I don't like the seaming, and then I slipped the first stitch purlwise when I did the sleeves to give this really nice edge, because I also thought if I then don't want to put the sleeves on it, I could then have it as a waistcoat, and it also just makes it really easy to pick up, so that's why I did that. But yes, another garment that hasn't worked out because it's been too big. This is a theme of all my knitting. So part of me is wondering if my gauge is just massively loosened up. So yeah, I think I might need to sort of reassess lots of things, but as in my knitting things. I do need to also reassess lots of things in my life, but that is not a topic for here. Then my next whip I've been working on, so I was trying to do a bit of finish it February in some sort of vain hope to just get things finished, because I've got a few things that have just lamented and I'm like, for God's sake, I actually want to wear these. And this sweater is one of them. This is the Rainbow in the Storm sweater, known as RITS, by KnitDiaries, who's an American pattern writer. I think she still has her patterns on Ravelry, but they've all gone a bit strange. But anyway, I saw this, oh goodness, it must be like over 5 years ago now. I knew that I wanted one, and it took me forever to find rainbow minis in BFL yarn. So these minis are all from the rainbow colours, are all from Crystal yarn. I can't remember their names now. But anyway, I really like them, and they actually do BFL, and they had a rainbow in mini set with 7 mini skeins. I found it really hard to not get 8 or 6, and I really wanted 7 because I didn't want like an extra pink. I wanted it to be actual rainbow colours, with 2 different blues. So hard. So when they had them, my brother asked me like, did I want anything for my birthday in the lockdown year, and I was like, yarn, of course I want yarn. So thank you very much to my brother for the yarn. And then these are held double with this grey to give it this like beautiful muted effect. In fact, you can't even see the movement between the yellow and the orange. It's a bit blended between the blue, but you can see it. But yeah, this is also BFL yarn because I really like BFL yarn, and I thought this jumper would get quite a lot of wear and tear, which is why I wanted it to have BFL. I can't remember the name of the colour, but it's from Kosy Kitchen Fibres, and I emailed, I think her name's Fiona, to like do me a special batch of like however many, and she really kindly did it, so thank you very much. But oh, it's just so beautiful, like just look at all those speckles. Oh yeah, I've got a stitch marker, which is from Hannah of the Corner of Craft, one of her lovely butterflies. I think there's also a pig. Yes, there's a pig. A little piggy. I nearly did the like an oink and the baby sign for it because that's what I'm doing at the moment with my child, and I have to keep reminding myself I don't need to do it for everybody else around me. So that's just marking where my I've changed my needle size to do the ribbing for the sleeve. I'm going to go back because I did Jenny's incredibly stretchy bind off, and even at the time I was like, I don't like that. And now, having done a tubular bind off for my husband's sweater, I'm going to go back and finish that off, and for the collar as well, because I just think it will make it look way more polished. And then I've managed to get to the point where I need to change needle sizes to do the what would be known as the ribbing, but it's not ribbing because it's already ribbed. You know what I mean, the cuff. And I just need to switch sizes and just finish that off and do about 20 rows, and it will be done. And I can sew on all my ends and I can wear it. So I think I may try and get this completed for autumn because, yeah, I really like it. I hope this isn't mucking up with the sound. And it will be really nice and warm. So that is almost a finish at February. I did actually make quite a lot of progress in it in February. 'Cause my February was a bit mad, so I had to try and pick some very easy things to finish. I think my socks were one. That I was like, I know how to make socks. I can pick them up and I can put them down. And yeah, go from there. And then I thought, right, that's my next thing that I'm going to pick. I was overly ambitious with what I wanted to get done in February, and I'm really trying to reevaluate what my actual knitting capacity is now. Which is really difficult because everyone's like, I'm going to make this and I'm going to make that, and I have to actually be like, I've got to pick one sweater. Which one is it? And that's been quite tough because knitting has usually been like one of my go-to things to do to make me feel better, and I haven't really been able to do it as much at some points this year. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I still do it, but also like I've been trying to mix in different things, and we'll see that as I get further down in my WIP pile. So that was that one. I was going to show you my fluorite socks, but I've not really worked on them because my needles broke. So, and I haven't been able to order new ones because, again, I was like, oh, like a sock project would be really good to do. And I'm on the point where I've picked up for the toe. So you pick up from the toe, it's like seamless, and then you increase out. I think it's a Turkish cast one. I can't remember. And then you increase out for like the wedge of the toe, and then basically go straight for a bit before you do the heel. So I thought, oh, that'd be nice for a little bit. I'll do the foot, test it on as I go, and it'll be nice. And then my needle broke, and I just haven't managed to find the size anywhere, which has been incredibly irritating. So I won't show them, but I will have a slight break from knitting to show you my lovely little stoat that I've been working on. And you can see I've really not got much to go. I've just got like this bit of the tail, and then I have got, I think, just to do around the outline of the star. I want to do it in the same colour as this, like yellowy green here. It's not really showing up very well. I'm sorry about the lighting. I want to do it in the same colour as this, but it seems to fall out my bag. And I'm pretty sure I know where it is. I just haven't managed to be child free for a long enough period of time and it be the priority to find that thread. But once it is, it will be done. And again, like with sorry, there's like a quarter thread and I'm gonna have to cut that. Like with the last two ones that I showed, I've done the bear and I've done the aardvark. This is gonna go up in my little boy's room. So there we go. Very happy with that. Very nice, like summer project. And then that is living in my little stitch bag that my mum bought me, I believe. Yes, it's my mum because it's from the local shop in my hometown. Which I won't say out loud because it'll give away where we are too much. More than I'm comfortable with. But I love it because it's got cacti and succulents, and I absolutely love all my plants. Oh, in other news that I'm sure you're dying to know about, my big monstera. Can I? Yeah, look, Manny. Excuse the mess, but Manny has a new leaf. I am super happy because I repotted him, and and he's gained a new leaf. He's lost one random leaf and now has gained a new one, so I think he might be growing up a little bit, and I'm desperately trying to get him to grow straight because he wants to go out, and I'm running out of places in my house he can go. I don't really want to chop him. But yes, that's my embroidery whip. I shall continue. How am I doing for time? I've got 15 minutes. Can we do this? This is my cross stitch whip. I think I showed this last. Yes, that's the way around it is. I think I maybe just have the outline of the ears just done, but I've done all of this blue and filled in a load more of the elephant. So this is a birth sampler that I had very, very brave ambitions of like completing before my child was born, and that didn't happen. So now I'm very much just completing this for like myself as like a nice memento, because I was a bit upset that like I didn't get to do lots of things before he came, but I've just decided like he's not going to care if it's not in his room, and it will just be a nice lovely memento for myself. So that's been kind of nice to finally start letting go of some of the things I got hung up about. But no, I really like that. It just requires a lot of brain power because it's a Bothy Threads one. It's the Wrendale designs, and they use lots of different colours. And it's sometimes very hard in the evening to pick apart all the different greys. But it's where the blue's been quite nice. Oh, because yeah, you can see I've done halfway through the blue balloon. Because it's just a little bit easier. So yeah, that was done at the point where I really just needed my brain to just chill and not focus on everything. But I obviously still actually did have some capacity to concentrate. So I think that might get picked up a little bit more in the future. It's just had a bit of a hiatus because it's kind of a lot to get out and put away again, and my child is very much like into everything. So like I said, it's been a bit difficult to get lots of bits out and then put things away again and all that jazz. But now that summer is approaching, that tends to be when like my cross stitch and my embroidery get a bit more love because they're just less. You're not underneath a giant blanket. We'll see. I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks, so that might come with me in some vain hope that I'll get some downtime. We'll see. We're going with family, so I'm expecting it will be full chaos. It's going to be all four of us, so that's the dog too. Not taking the fish. I've got fish since our last podcast. They're going to stay at home on like some long feeders, but also going with my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, niece, and my mother-in-law. So it is going to be really nice to like spend a bit of time together. But like I said, I'm not entirely sure how much downtime there will be. We'll see. So next up on my whips is, because I was just like, I need to do more stuff for me, because I keep doing projects that are kind of for other people. I have a secret project on the go as well, but I can't share that until quite a bit further in the year. And then I've been like finishing bits for my son, and essentially I've been going through quite a difficult time. I realised I had kind of nothing for myself on the needles that was good, or not good, but like everything had kind of gone wrong. And I know when things like that happen, it's a reflection of my state of mind. So I was trying to think of something like I could do, and I didn't want to spend money on more yarn or patterns because of my job situation. So I was a bit like, well, I went shopping for clothes for interviews. And I wanted to buy like a black cardigan, and I was like, no, I have yarn and a pattern to make a black cardigan, and I just haven't done it. So I was like, why don't you just do it? I don't think it's the best pattern for my brain at the moment, but I'm only doing 2 rows at a time every day. So this is the Strier cardigan. You see that beautiful like stitch pattern there. So I haven't gotten very far. And then the yarn is just merino black from Woolly Knits that I've had in stash for a while. And this is going to be a slow burn. I need a flat cardigan in my wardrobe. I really don't want to buy one because I can make one. So I've just gone ahead and I'm hoping I've picked the right size. I think I did size down like more than I would normally have done, but I'm going to double check before I go any further, because I have picked the size 5 and I might need to go down lower. We'll see. But I've got it all laid out, my increases to just tick off as I go. I just tick off my 2 rows as I'm going. And I'm really enjoying it as a project that makes me think a little bit, because I'm just thinking about the pattern, the stitch pattern. But then because I've been marking it off, I'm not having to remember like how many rows I've done before I need to do my increases and all that jazz. And I've also done this so that I don't have to use my phone and I can have half an hour actually winding down without looking at my phone each night. And it's been very necessary, put it that way. And I've been really enjoying working on something that is purely a want for me, which has been quite indulgent, I'll be honest, but it's been nice because it's been really hectic. And that is living in my project bag from Botanical Yarn, which I quite like because it's black and funky. I didn't show you the one that the Rainbow in the Store sweater is in, but this was the the Unravel special, I think, in 2021. It's like got pink and grey spots, and I really like it because it's got lots of compartments in it. And then my Dragon Hoard yarn, not Dragon Hoard yarn, sorry, Gamer Crafting, like Dragon Hoarding yarn, not Dragon Hoard yarn. So yeah, that's from I'm trying to remember the name they now go by. I think Ryan. I apologise if that's wrong. But yeah. And then my next whip is a big whip. Again, it's too big. Which is a shame because I absolutely love it. So this is the Olive and Bean sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I was trying to do the March to May lit along, just for me because I wanted it, but also it's just kind of fun to join in. So the yarn is, I can't remember the name of the colour, but the purple, this like bright purple, is by the Little Grey Girl, and then this is actually like a dark purple. It's not black. It's from Cool Woolings. I got them both out of like their sale bins at East Anglia Yarn Fest last year, I think. And basically I was just like, I want this, I need to do something for myself, and everything else is going wrong and blah blah blah. So I cast this on. I've cast on a size 5 and I think I need to go down to a size 3 to get it to fit how I want it to fit. I mean, it would work as a jumper. I just didn't want it to be baggy. I wanted it to be a bit snug and kind of cropped. I wanted to wear it above the waist of like my snag skirt and to be worn under dungarees. And essentially, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about the sound. I wanted it to fill like a slight, not a gap, but like a bit more of a niche gap I've got in my wardrobe. So I'm having a bit of a think, because one of the ideas I have had is to take it back to the yoke and redistribute the stitches, or take that yoke back a lot further. I think that might be what I do first, is take that yoke back to the short rows, maybe do one more round and then split for the sleeves, and then I might try and gently decrease the body. Yeah, we'll see, because I don't really want to undo it. But the other option I've got, I suppose, is I could not do whatever the last increases are and go back to there. We shall see, because it'll be such a shame, because I bloody love it. Like, look at it, it's just making my purple goth heart really happy. And that was what I really wanted, was to have some more like kind of gothy clothes in my wardrobe, because I never seem to have any, and so I end up looking quite twee, and it's just been really sort of new mum identity of just like, I'm not small and twee. But yeah, that is how I come across a lot. So I wanted to just have something that would just kind of help with that a little bit. But yeah, like I said, not gone to plan. Knit with the right size needle. It looks okay, so I don't think it's a gauge problem, but that was also going to be before I frogged it. I was going to check my gauge, and then if it was off, be like, right, I just need to do something or knit a different size. But TBC. And that is living in my amazing bag that my best friend Aurora made me. Look, it's got raccoons on it because I love raccoons. Yeah. So that's that. And then I think my last whip, and it kind of segues into acquisitions quite nicely, is I got gifted this giant bowl of Aran yarn for my birthday. So again, this is from my my local yarn shop, Sconch. My mum was a bit like, you kind of do it a bit more for your birthday. If you really like that, I'll buy it for you, because she was like, I was going to just buy you a voucher, but she was like, we're here, you may as well have it. So I was like, yes, please, that would be nice, because I'm trying not to spend money because of life. And I cast it on, and again, I cast on the right number of stitches. I cast it on with the right needle size. It was so big. It was so big that me, my best friend Aurora, and my baby could all fit in it side by side. So something has really gone wrong. So I am doing a little swatch to see kind of like how far off the pattern I am. But I am seriously considering buying a pattern off Ravelry, because I never have any luck with like commercial patterns. So this is the pattern that I got. It's the Sirdar tank top, again because I was like, this would fit a little niche in my wardrobe. I could wear it over shirts, I can wear it over dresses. Yeah, I just thought it would fit a nice little niche in my wardrobe. But I really wanted it kind of like for work, to wear as like a sort of quirky, like smart casual thing. And also because I'm still breastfeeding and going and visiting like the nursing room, it's like a nice protective layer, you know, make sure I've done all my buttons up. Because it's like my great fear is that I won't have like redressed myself properly after I've been. But yeah, so again, also having a bit of a think. And so yeah, when my last project went wrong, I was just like, I think that your brain is just not really in the right place, and that's not really a surprise given everything that's going on at the moment. So I'm trying to give myself some grace, my crafting time some grace, and yeah, just kind of go from there at the moment. So I'm just trying to finish my secret project on time and work on my strier cardigan and my bean and olive sweater to just kind of keep me going. But I'm hopefully going forwards to a place of more calm. It may be stressful in other ways, but we'll see. Right. Oh, gotta keep the throat going. And then we're gonna move very swiftly into acquisitions because I have got to leave pretty soon. Yeah, I'll just try and do a bit of a whistle stop tour. So since I last recorded, I don't even, oh, it's embroidery thread from my thing. So yeah, since we last spoke, I got the last 2 clubs from Giddy Yarns Terry Pratchett theme last year. So these are Octarine. They're both Octarine. Oh, and Death of Rats. So again, at some point I need to break out the needles and start making the socks for my husband. And then I have the idea that I might make him some sort of like Terry Pratchett memory blanket out of all the scraps, because I don't really know what else I'm going to do with them. Like, I like Terry Pratchett, but my husband like adores them. Like, he has 2 big posters in his office of Terry Pratchett things. He's got a map of Ankh-Morpork and then a poster of the world, like the turtle. So I really like Terry Pratchett. So that might be kind of nice for him and to go in his office, so that he's got like... In fact, he keeps complaining his office is really cold, so that might actually be perfect. But let's be honest, by the time I get around to it, the heating will probably have all been fixed. But also knowing us, who knows? Let's see which one of those comes first. And then this year I've started, I've signed up to 2 clubs, and I have signed up to Spectrum Fibres Jewelstones Club. So I don't think I've kept, I can't find the postcard for the first one, but the first one was Amethyst, and that is this little bundle. Oh, they're just so beautiful. And then the second one, I can't remember, might have been, no, that's the most recent one. Yeah, I think the second one was the opal. Oh dear. So that's like the inspiration, and then that's the how they came out. I really like them. And then the next one was turquoise, which is very turquoisey. Again, it's like, so you get 2 kind of like coordinating minis and then 1 kind of speckled. And then the last one, so this was I think April's or May's, it might have been May's, I think, was rainbow quartz, and then this is what came out, and it's just, sorry, it's upside down. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Brownies, got some really lovely colours. And so my plans for those are to have, I'm going to make a Mystical Lanterns blanket with it, or a Sweet Shop blanket. I'm going to just basically wait for the whole year's worth to come and then sort of see which blanket pattern I want to make. But that's the idea, is to make a big blanket, which might live in here, it might live in our living room or our bedroom, not sure. I'm just going to see where, once it's done, like what room I think it wants to live in, and go from there. Excuse me. And then that is kind of the same for my Fibre Fox club. I think Georgie and Ben have only done 2 months so far. I'm waiting for the next one to come open, and I'll do those. So the first month was like kind of deep, like foresty greens, and then we've moved into slightly more bluey greens, and then it's going to move into blue, and it's just going to move through the rainbow. So I am, yeah, again, waiting for all of these, like kind of the set to be complete before I finally decide on a design. But again, I think I might do the Sweet Shop blanket, or I might do, there's a lovely like quilted blanket pattern, or the Mystical Lanterns by, I can't remember her name. She does a lot of patterns for Starcraft. Like the Bejeweled, is it Bejeweled blanket? The Persian tiles, that's it, the Persian tiles blanket, which I have a pattern for. Yeah, she does the Mystical Lanterns, and I just thought that paired with like either a dark grey or like a black, or even, I actually think an undyed might be nice, and just let all those colours pop. So yeah, long-term plan for those, and I'll just see where it goes, and I'll just try and use up all the little scraps. And I also bought the Lonely Knitter, so Laura of the Folk Studio, or the Lonely Knitter, who runs East Anglia Yarn Fest, made a mini skein set of all the Wicked colourways, or like Wicked inspired colourways after the film. And I went to see Wicked for my 30th birthday. I was not feeling well. I was incredibly really badly suffering from morning sickness at that point. But we went, we had a lovely meal. I felt so nauseous. My poor husband had like put so much effort in, and I was just like, I'm gonna throw up. Which was a real shame. So we might have to go and redo my 30th birthday. But yeah, he bought me tickets to go see Wicked, and it was really good. And then with the film coming out, I thought I'd buy this as like a nice memory. But I already had an idea, because I don't like to buy yarn unless I have an idea, basically. And my idea is to make the plant doodle cow. I've got the pattern in stash, and then I bought some white yarn to go with it, because these like greens and these pinks just said to me they'd be really nice for like the plant doodle, and given that I also really like plants, so that'd be nice. So then I bought these like King Cole Luxury Merino because it's a yarn I've worked with before. It works up really nicely for colour work. I know it washes really well. Oh, that was it. And I also needed to buy some more of the red for my husband's sweater, so I just went ahead and bought it. So that's those. Again, like I said, they have a plan in mind. And then, I'm sorry about the crinkling. And then the last thing I bought, oh no, I tell a lie, it's not the last thing, there was one more. I was in my local shop and I spotted this in like the sale bin. And I just thought it's the most beautiful shade of green. It's Soft Lime by Sirdar, and it's a Country Classic DK. And I thought it would make a really nice, it would match that like green I had in my pumpkin patch cardigan, and I really want to make my son another one for this year. So I was like, that would be great because I think it's got wool in it. Yeah, it's got wool in it, so it will stick a bit better. And I'll use up my leftover like green that I've got and the red and the orange, and we'll then actually have a matchy one. So I bought that, and because I love this colour so much, it's been discontinued, and it's a real shame because it's beautiful, but I can see a cardigan in that for me. So one of my next sort of like plan purchases is to buy enough of this yarn, I think in DK, to make myself a cardigan. I was thinking Winter's Beach, might do something else. Could do with doing some non-Andrea Mowry patterns. But I just have a lot of them in, and I'm trying not to spend money, so we shall see what I come up with. This was before all this happened, by the way. And then the last sort of yarny business is I got the weekly advent pack from Castleview Yarns, because I didn't get that advent last year. Which I slightly regret, but then I didn't do the pre-order because I was just like, I have so many advents, I don't need them. And also because I haven't watched The Greatest Showman, so I don't like to buy it if I don't know the link in usually. But this purple just absolutely popped out at me because I love purple, as you may have noticed from all the purple garments, and my room is purple. Purple's my favourite colour, in case you hadn't worked it out. And so this fade just jumped out at me, and I essentially just found a way to make it work. And I plan to make a cardigan. I think I'm going to do the blur cardigan because, again, I really need more cardigans in my wardrobe, and I love purple, so this will hopefully fit in nicely. So that is all my acquisitions. I've got about 5 minutes before I have to go, so I'm briefly going to cover like the hiatus of 2025. Basically, at Christmas I got quite sick. I got a couple of respiratory infections all in one, and then they turned into a bacterial chest infection, and I have asthma, and it didn't go very well, and I got like post-viral fatigue, and then right at the end we had to take my son to hospital because he got concussed at nursery, and then we picked up hospital grade norovirus, and so I then had that at the tail end of it, and then that all spelled into like 3 months of every other week we got norovirus. I mean, after the first time when we got like the hospital one, it was so bad, the hospital one, that like the subsequent 2 almost felt pleasant by comparison, which just says how awful it was. So yeah, we had all that going on. My son was in and out of nursery, and there were a couple of like hospital and doctor's appointments and things, and then our heating broke. Sorry, not our heating, our hot water broke. We didn't have hot water for 10 days. That was incredibly fun with a child in the cold. I mean, like, we had ways of like making it work for him, and like we did camp to like my mother-in-law's and stuff, but it was just logistically worse. I have lived without heating, like being a broke student. I think that's the easiest to cope with, is no heating, but it's the most soul destroying. Not being able to shower in winter, or like trying to keep yourself clean in like that much of bath water that you've heated up with a kettle, is the most logistically awful but you don't feel so miserable if you can put the heating on. So I suppose that's something. And then we had all of that, and then I found out that my job role was at risk of redundancy. So yeah, I've been through all of that. I also then got a pretty bad chest infection that they were concerned was ammonia on top of all of that. That was my birthday present for my little boy. Thank you very much. I had all of that. Yeah, I had to have a couple of weeks off work, and then came back to the news that I had been selected out. But I had also been offered a job somewhere else in the business. So that's what's happening. I'm going into a new job, which is really good, and we're just gonna see kind of how it works out. But yeah, it's been pretty stressful. Hence not trying to spend money. I've been trying to use what I have, because I really thought at one point I thought I have to plan to not have a job, but things so far have worked out. They may yet change. Basically, I've got a couple of external things that I am exploring. I'm just trying to make I'm just trying to make the most of the situation and just trying to navigate it. And I have a bit of a plan, and I'm sticking with my plan. It does seem to be working, which is always nice. And I'm just trying to go from there, really. Yeah, so it's just been a bit up and down. And then I also had I have been struggling with like PTSD symptoms since my my little one was born, because he had quite a dramatic entry. So I also had my like PTSD therapy for that. One of the things is to relive it, and I literally had this about 5 days before I found out I was being redundant. So we shall just say that my face was just like a tap of tears, like everything just made me cry. It was pretty tough, and that's why it's been really like essential to kind of come back to my crafting, and being like, okay, what gives me joy and where can I work that in? Like, I'm job hunting and my child's sleep needs have dropped, which was horrendous to go through all at the same time. I was like, could you just stop life? That would be lovely, thanks. But we all know that's not how life works, and you have to find a way forwards. And I have now found a way through, and I think hopefully in a much better place. But yeah, it's just a bit rough. So that's like the 6 months of chaos, and just like I said, really trying to find a way through that, and using my crafting as a real crutch when I need it. But as you can see, it's not always gone to plan, and I know that that's a sign when things are, my mind is just in a puddle. So I've been trying to find things that work with my brain, and they are in a bit of a puddle. So yeah, I'm hoping to try and go forwards, maybe try and do this like once a month, once every other month. I'm going to try and aim for a month, and then maybe try and have like once every other month is like my limit, so there won't be quite as much, and hopefully shouldn't be quite as overwhelming. But I'm going with the flow. We're seeing what life does, and we'll go from there. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my very long waffle. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you could give me feedback on whether like the sound is better, things like that, that would be really appreciated. That's what I'm trying to say. Other than that, I hope you're all well. I hope you have time to relax and make time for you. I know it's hard, but sometimes it is the most important thing you can do. It's just very hard to do, and I know from experience. But yeah, I hope you get to look after yourself. I hope everyone else as well, and I just hope that 2025 isn't as chaotic for you as it's been for me and lots of other people. But chin up. Could be worse, could be better, but it's not as bad as it could be. So yeah, thank you very much for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye everyone.